What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Biden, his first interview, he admits that he was pushed out.
You know, there's during World War II, where Roosevelt came up with a thing that was totally different than he called it the World War II. He had the War Production Board.
Thank you guys so much for rocking with me. The first interview since Biden leaving. He admits to CNN that he was pushed out of the race and name drops Nancy Pelosi. I haven't watched the interview yet, so we're going to watch it together. I'm reading an article here from New York Post. President Joe Biden all but admitted he was pushed out of the presidential race by Democratic Party elites. Whew. Yo. Yikes. Name drops former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi in his first TV interview since last month. Yikes. We are going to drop into the interview and we're going to watch this thing together. Everybody who's watching, shout out where you're watching this from. Drop the comments in below. Let me know where you're watching this out of. Smash the like button. Really appreciate each and every single one of you. Thanks for your time. Truly appreciate that. We're going to jump into this Biden interview with, it was with CBS. Excuse me, I misspoke earlier. I believe I said CNN, but it's with CBS. I haven't watched this yet. So we're going to watch this together.
We're living through history.
Let me know if you guys can hear this.
Let's begin with your decision.
Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Correspondent Robert Costa.
We're living through history.
We really are.
Let's begin with your decision. You're at your home, Rehoboth Beach, Delaware,
Shout out to Arizona.
late July with your family, and you make this historic decision. Tell me the story.
Look, the polls we had showed that it was neck and neck race. Would have been down the wire. But what happened was a number of my Democratic colleagues in the House and Senate thought that I was going to hurt them in the races.
Oh, you can't hear anything? Oh, really? Double check. Oh, it's too quiet. Hold on. Here it is. What's up, South Carolina? Okay, let me see. I'm going to replay it. Let me know if you can hear it.
Election and campaign correspondent Robert Costa.
That probably hit. Is that
We're
better?
living through history.
We really are.
Let's begin with your decision. You're at your home,
Better?
Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, late July with your family, and you make this historic decision. Tell me the story.
Look, the polls we had showed that it was neck and neck race. Would have been down to the wire. But what happened was a number of my Democratic colleagues in the House and Senate thought that I was going to hurt them in the races. And I was concerned if I stayed in the race, that would be the topic. You'd be interviewing me about why did Nancy Pelosi say, why did someone, and
Whoa.
I thought
What did he say?
that would be the topic. You'd be interviewing me about colleagues in the House and Senate thought that I was going to hurt them in the races. And I was concerned if I stayed in the race, that would be the topic. You'd be interviewing me about why did Nancy Pelosi say, why did someone, and I thought it'd be a real distraction, number one. Number two, when I ran the first time, I thought of myself as being a transition president. I can't even say how old I am. It's hard for me to get out of my mouth. And, but things got moving so quickly, it didn't happen. And the combination was that I thought it was a critical issue for me, still is not a joke, maintaining this democracy. But I thought it was important because although it's a great honor being president, I think I have an obligation to the country to do the most important thing we can do, and that is we must defeat Trump.
I saw
Hold on. I'm going to get back to it, but what is this thing with the I got to defeat Trump like he's the bad guy? They haven't initiated any policies. They haven't lived up to anything that they said that they were going to do. And Kamala Harris is over here talking about no tax on tips taken from Joe Biden's, or excuse me, from Donald Trump's policies, which he spoke about like several months ago. And like, where's her policies? And she could be doing that right now if she wanted to do that stuff. Nancy Pelosi did make that decision. Shout out Nancy. Yes, Nancy Pelosi did make this decision for him. I wonder how much he got paid.
all those images of your family in the Oval Office sitting just over to your left as you addressed the nation. They came up to you after the speech. What did you say to them?
It's what they said to me. They said, my grandchildren call me Pop. My children call me Dad. And they said they were proud. And it mattered to me a lot.
When I saw you with your family in the Oval, I wondered, is he thinking of Bo, too?
Look, I can honestly say that I think of him all the time. Whenever I have a decision that's really hard to make, I literally ask myself, what will Bo do? He should be sitting here being interviewed, not me. He was really a fine man. You know, Bo was committed to my staying committed. We had a conversation toward the end when we knew he wasn't going to live. And he said, Dad, we know it's going to happen. He said, I'm going to be okay, Dad. I'm all right. I'm not afraid. But Dad, you got to make me a promise. I said, what's that, Bo? He said, I know when it happens, you're going to want to quit. You're not going to stay engaged. My dad said, look at me. Look at me, Dad. Give me your word as a Biden. When I go, you'll stay engaged. Give me your word. Give me your word. And I did. And then that's why I had not planned on running after he died. And then Charlottesville happened.
In 2017, white supremacist demonstrations in Charlottesville, Virginia turned deadly when, on August 12th, Heather Heyer, a civil rights activist, was murdered in what the Justice Department called a hate-inspired act of domestic terrorism.
Shout out to the people joining. Really appreciate it. Continue to drop in where you're watching this out of. What's up, Connecticut? Shout out Connecticut in the house. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi pushed him out.
Biden has long traced his decision to run in 2020 to that moment.
It really is the beginning of your journey to the presidency. As you look at American democracy 7 years later, how do you see it?
When I spoke to the mom who lost her daughter as a consequence of those neo-Nazis and white supremacists come out of fields in America with torches, carrying Nazi banners, singing the same sick anti-Semitic bile that was sung in Germany in the 30s. And when her daughter was killed, the press went to the then President Trump and said, what do you think? He said, they're very fine people on both sides. And I knew then. I knew I had to do something. And that's how I decided to run, because democracy was literally at stake. And, and then he evidenced everything that we thought. January 6th, when attack on the Capitol, talked about now, because he now talks about making sure they're all let out of prison. They're going to pardon them. Think of this. Every other time the Ku Klux Klan's been involved, they wore hoods so they're not identified. under his presidency, they came out of those woods with no hoods, knowing they had an ally. That's how I read it. They knew they had an ally in the White House. And he stepped up for them.
Are you confident?
Honestly, he doesn't look so bueno. Drop the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about how Biden's looking. He doesn't look so bueno. A lot of people in the comments are saying some, unknown disease, quote unquote. He doesn't look so good. He might have fought COVID. I know there was some reports when he went to Vegas, some emergency vehicles had to shoot him off on the Air Force One and get him to a medical facility. They haven't talked about that, but he doesn't look so bueno.
Confident that there will be a peaceful transfer of power in January 2025?
If Trump wins, no, I'm not confident at all. I mean, if Trump loses, I'm not confident at all. He means what he says. We don't take him seriously. He means it. All the stuff about if we lose, there'll be a bloodbath. It's have to be a stolen election. Look what they're trying to do now in the local election districts where people count the votes. They're putting people in place in states that they're going to count the votes, right? You can't love your country only when you win.
Trump has said his remarks on Charlottesville were not intended to praise white nationalists, and that he was warning of economic carnage when he said bloodbath. But Trump isn't the only thing on Biden's mind.
You have about 5 months left in your presidency. You're managing two.
Oh man, you guys can't hear anymore? Let me know if you guys can hear. I'm getting in the comments that you guys can't hear. Let me know.
Wars, domestic policy, the economy. On foreign policy, Israel's war with Hamas. Is a ceasefire possible before the end of your term?
Still possible. The plan I put together, endorsed by the G7, endorsed by the UN Security Council, et cetera, is still viable. And I'm working literally every single day to, and my whole team, to see to it that it doesn't escalate into a regional war. But it easily can.
You've had a lot of ambition. Some senators told me in March of 2021, you took them into the Oval Office and pointed up at FDR's portrait and said, we're going big. We're going in that direction.
I did, and we have, with the great help of so many people. Look, democracy works, and it was very important to prove that it worked. Prove that it worked. I mean, look at what we've been able to do. We've created 16 million jobs. I mean, real new jobs. We've gotten around the brink of having the private sector invest over $1 trillion in the American economy. One of the things I fought for as a senator for a long time was to change the dynamic of how we grow the economy, not from the top down, but from the bottom up. The idea of trickle-down economics doesn't work in my view.
He has his little note cards ready too. Yeah, dementia, early onset dementia's kicking in. Look at this interview. There was about a 2-minute intro to this, so the total interview was probably about 10 minutes. And he has his cue cards ready, which is necessary. He's doing okay. He did do a little baffle. Where has he been? Where has he been? Oh, that's right. He's been on the beach.
You're proud of this record. Will we see you out on the campaign trail for Vice
Yes.
President Harris?
Yes, you will. I talk to her frequently, and by the way, I've known her running mate is a great guy. As we say, if we grew up in the same neighborhood, we'd have been friends. He's my kind of guy. He's real. He's smart. I've known him for several decades. I think it's a hell of a team.
To those who have expressed skepticism about how much you'll be on the trail or about the rest of your term, raise questions about your health, what do you say to them?
All I can say is watch. That's all. Look,
Watch. Bro, we've been watching. You haven't done anything.
had a really, really bad day in that debate because I was sick.
He had a bad day at the debate because he was sick. That's what he just said?
Those who have expressed skepticism about how much you'll be on the trail or about the rest of your term, raise questions about your health, what do you say to them?
All I can say is watch. That's all. Look,
Watch. All I could say is watch. Watch what, man? You got a couple months. You got a couple months left. Watch for what? Some more, so people can put some more falling down the stairs compilations, more baffles together. No.
I had a really, really bad day in that debate because I was sick. But I have no serious.
Wait. I got to go to the debate. Hold on. I got to go to the debate really quick. This is not an identifier of anybody who was sick. He doesn't look as sick here as he does now. that right there is the most classic clip, and I love how, you know, I please, I don't want to make fun of an older person, but the way that the Democrats put him out here, they knew they've been hiding his dementia. They've been hiding this entire time. And Kamala Harris has been saying that he's in good health. And the way that Trump does a double take here, he's like, oh man. This right here is the most classic image right there. I'm going to go back to the interview. I want to finish the interview here. Here we go. Yeah. No sound. Hold up. Hold on. Here we go. Thanks, guys.
$1 trillion in the American economy. One of the things I fought for as a senator a long time was to change the dynamic of how we grow the economy, not from the top down, but from the bottom up. The idea of trickle-down economics doesn't work in my view.
You're proud of this record. Will we see you out on the campaign trail for Vice
Yes.
President Harris?
Yes, you will. I talk to her frequently, and by the way, I've known her running mate is a great guy. As we say, if we grew up in the same neighborhood, we'd have been friends. He's my kind of guy. He's real. He's smart. I've known him for several decades. I think it's a hell of a team.
To those who have expressed skepticism about how much you'll be on the trail or about the rest of your term, raise questions about your health, what do you say to them?
All I can say is watch. That's all. Look, I had a really, really bad day in that debate because I was sick. But I have no serious problem. I was talking to Governor Shapiro, who's a friend. We have to win Pennsylvania, my original home state. He and I are putting together a campaign tour in Pennsylvania. I'm going to be campaigning in other states as well. And I'm going to do whatever Kamala thinks I can do to help most.
We had this conversation in the president's private residence, here in the White House Treaty Room, where historic peace agreements have been signed. Watching over us, Ulysses S. Grant, the general turned president who labored to restore the Union after the Civil War.
When you think about the presidency, we're here in a special room in the residence so much history in this room. How do you want history to remember President Biden?
That he proved democracy can work. It got us out of a pandemic. It produced the single greatest economic recovery in American history.
Wait, what stats is he looking at?
We're the most powerful economy in the world. We have more to do.
Right now, I don't think other countries are looking at us as the most powerful in the world, with you at the helm and your vice president, Kamala Harris.
And it demonstrated that we can pull the nation together. Look, I've always believed, and I still do, the American people are good and decent, honorable people. When I announced my candidacy to run way back for president, I said we got to do three things: restore the soul of America, build the economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down, and bring the country together. No one thought we could get done, and including not my own people, what we got done. But one of the problems is I knew all the things we did were going to take a little time to work their way through. So now people are realizing, oh, that highway, oh, that the big mistake we made, we didn't put up signs saying Joe did it.
Folks, the people of this nation have spoken.
4 years ago, what Joe did was defeat Donald Trump. Now, with Trump attempting to return to the White House, Biden is sounding the alarm in a way sitting presidents rarely, if ever, do.
The stakes are that high to you.
I give you my word. I think that I mark my words. If he wins this nomination, this election, why?
Jeez. I know they probably did several takes in this because I did notice some edits on this video. So these are the best takes that they could. These are the best takes that they could keep in. Shout out to New Jersey. What's up, Jersey? Thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. Go ahead and drop your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about this interview so far. It's almost over. Then we're going to jump into what Nancy Pelosi had to say about Joe Biden. Shout out California. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it.
Watch what happens. It's a danger. He's a genuine danger to American security. Look, we're at an inflection point in world history. We really are. The decisions we make in the last 3-4 years and the next 3 or 4 years are going to determine what the next 6 decades look like. And democracy is the key. And that's why I went down and made that speech at Johnson Center about the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is so out of whack. And so I propose that we limit terms to 18 years. So anyway, there's little regard by the MAGA Republicans for the political institutions. That's what holds this country together. That's
it reminds me of like the old neighbor that has the Werther's original, you know, the older neighbor that you come over, you need, like, you know, when you were a kid, you used to go to your neighbor's house and they were, at least I did, old neighbor, and they'd be like, oh, you want some Werther's original.
what democracy is about. That's who we are as a nation.
Mr. President, thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be with you.
An honor to be in this room.
That's it. That is it. Let's jump into what Nancy Pelosi admits she never Pelosi admits she was never that impressed with Biden's political operation. I gotta end this screen, and I don't know what's going on with the stream right now. Here we go.
Just a little
But it was like you felt his pain.
impressed with his. Just a little background.
It was like you felt his
I've never been
pain.
that impressed with his political operation.
Wow.
just a little
But it
background.
was like
I've
you felt
never
his
been
pain.
that impressed with his political operation.
Biden's operation.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I just haven't been. They won the White House. Bravo. Right.
Mhm.
So my concern was this ain't happening. We have to be transformative in how we have our policy.
Candidly told the New Yorker about her concerns about Biden's 2024 prospects after she was asked to recall the widely viewed July interview at MSNBC.
In order to work with the private sector.
Do you want him to run?
I want him to do whatever he decides to do.
Her face changes every time. Her face changes every time. Some days she looks like Michael Jackson. Some days she doesn't have her face taped up. Or the Estee Lauder cream on.
Decides to do, and that's the way it is.
Her previous comments fueled speculation about her motives and reports about her behind the scenes. However, stating that Donald Trump would never step foot in the White House. That's one of my biggest concerns right now is they're gaslighting the general public. A few months ago, Kamala Harris was the worst vice president, and now she's the top candidate. And they're saying that she does all these wonderful things, and her running mate, Tampon Teasy. Come on, man. They're trying to gaslight us. And there's these photos of artificial images and speculation of using AI to show rally crowds that are bigger. Come on, man. I sound like Biden. Come on, man. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. Later today, we'll drop some videos with some new Donald Trump ads. Shout out to everybody watching. Really appreciate it. Go ahead and drop your comments down below. Let me know what you thought about all this. Drop your comments down below. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Truly, truly appreciate each and every single one of you. And as always, I will catch you on the next one.